Welcome to Santa Clarita Weekly, where we cover all things local in Santa Clarita Valley every Saturday morning at 9 on KQRU 107.9. Join hosts Tim Haddock and Sage Rafferty as they uncover the latest news, events, sports highlights, and more, keeping you connected and engaged with what matters most in our hometown.
Welcome back for another edition of Santa Clarita Weekly with Tim Haddock and Sage Rafferty. I'm Sage. He's Tim. You can listen to us on the radio at KQRU 107.9 FM on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock. We are also on YouTube and Instagram, and you can find us online at santaclaritastar.com. The parents and friends of gays and lesbians, known as PFLAG, met at Starbucks in Valencia to raise awareness to the gay community in Santa Clarita. Saugus High graduate Abbey Weitzeil is headed to the Summer Olympics in Paris, making the U.S. swim team for the third time. She will compete in the freestyle relay team for Team USA. The Dodgers are learning to live without Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani is carrying the load. So the Dodgers won 3 of 4 games against the Rockies in Colorado and split the Freeway Series against the Angels at Dodger Stadium. So first up, let's talk about Brewed with Pride. PFLAG SCV held an event called Brewed with Pride at Starbucks at High Ridge Center on New Hall Ranch Road this past Sunday on June 23rd. The event included a raffle and coffee for grown-ups and face painting and games for the kids. So PFLAG is an organization that was founded to provide support to parents and their children who are LGBTQ+. I attended the event, and I was able to talk to Mary Morris, who is retired from the Hart School District. She talked to me about the important impact that PFLAG has had on the LGBTQ+ community in Santa Clarita Valley. Let's listen to that interview right now. All right. So what can you tell me your name?
My name is Mary Morris.
Mary Morris?
Morris, yes.
Okay.
I worked in the Hart District for 40 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. What did you do in the Hart District?
Well, I was an administrator at Canyon. I was a school psychologist at Canyon, and I was a counselor at Valencia.
Oh, that's nice. So, can you talk about this event with PFLAG?
Sure, we are raising money with the help of Starbucks so we can be more of a support group to the community of gay people, parents and students and allies. We want to encourage parents and students that are gay to come to our meetings, get support.
Yeah, I know PFLAG has been a big part of the community. What kind of impact do you think PFLAG has had on this community?
I think it's been noticeable because when I go to the board meetings, I feel a lot of support, with some exceptions. I totally disagree with outing kids, and so we're going to work on that so that doesn't happen.
All right. So thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so you are listening to KQRU 107.9 in Santa Clarita. You can listen to Santa Clarita Weekly on Saturday mornings at 9 and on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or wherever you listen to podcasts. So let's talk about the U.S. Olympic swim team. So Abbey Weitzeil, who was on the Saugus High swim team, is headed to the Summer Olympics in Paris as part of the U.S. swim team. She will be on the freestyle relay team after finishing in 5th place in the U.S. swim trials in Indianapolis. The top 6 swimmers in the 100 freestyle at the Olympic trials make the U.S. relay teams. She narrowly missed qualifying in the 50 freestyle, coming in 3rd place in the final at the Olympic trials. She was 1.1 hundredths of a second behind Gretchen Walsh, who finished in 2nd place. Simone Manuel won the 50 freestyle final in 24.13 seconds. Weitzeil was 3rd in 24.26 seconds. The top 2 finishers in the 50 freestyle qualified for the U.S. swim team Weitzeil has already won 4 Olympic medals, 1 gold, 2 silvers, and a bronze. She won a gold medal as part of the medley relay team in the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, and 2 more at the Summer Olympics in Tokyo in 2021. She won all of her Olympic medals on relay teams. So the Olympic trials didn't end exactly the way Weitzeil wanted. She was aiming to qualify in the 100 freestyle and 50 freestyle individually. She said it took a day for her to realize and appreciate making the U.S. swim team for the 3rd time. And she said, and I quote, "My 100 isn't exactly what I was expecting or wanting. Obviously, it did take me a day to reset, take a breath, appreciate what I have done, get on the team again, and move on to the next race," she said.
I'm surprised I'm not crying right now. I think I used up all my tears earlier in the week. It feels amazing. I'm absolutely honored to call myself a 3-time Olympian. It's a dream, and I still got work to do tomorrow. But I'm beyond words, and I've had such an emotional week just watching people from my team and other. I swear I was watching finals in the stands one night and I was crying every race. So I was just like so happy to see everyone make the team. So it's an emotional ride, and I'm beyond words for myself as well. So I'm excited.
Could we? Dan Donna from Swimming World. Abby, can you talk a little bit about how big this year is with obviously planning a wedding and also, you know, trying to make your 3rd Olympic team? What have been some of the struggles and what have been some of the joys of having that all kind of happen in a close proximity of time?
Yeah, I think this year is huge for me in such amazing ways, and I think planning a wedding has been kind of like a gateway for me. Like, I love that kind of stuff. I love organizing and all of that, so it's been something fun for me to do, and I've had a long time to do it, so no stress on that. Preparing for this meet has been throwing everything I have into the pool every day. My 100 isn't exactly what I was expecting or wanting, obviously, so it did take me a day to, you know, reset, take a breath, appreciate what I have done, get myself on the team again, and move on to my next race. So I think throwing everything I have into this year, emotionally, physically, and just riding out the summer for sure, and excited to be a part of Team USA again.
For Abby, who's an international veteran, who will bring the cowbell to Paris, and how much did Kate Campbell's comments maybe resonate as motivation for you all?
We're all bringing the cowbell. We're all bringing the cowbell. It's all, I mean, whenever comments are made about your country or, you know, jobs at you, it's all competitive, and I think we all just kind of, our competitive side comes out. So we're all bringing the cowbell extra loud.
Any other questions? Right here in the front.
Dan Donna from Swimming World again. Abby, how tough is trying to make a 3rd team when you're, you know, just kind of compare from the past teams? Obviously, everybody's a little bit older this time around. You know, everything that you do is a little bit different. You're more of a leader on, you know, on the squad now. How do you prepare, or how did you prepare differently, maybe even mentally, for this week?
Yeah, I think every trials, this is my 4th trials, and every trials I've come in with a different approach. You know, my very first trials in 2012, I'm really young, just coming to experience it, and you look back to 2016, you know, I was the girl with nothing to lose. I was the newbie out there trying to make her first Olympic team. Then you go to 21, and it was a weird year for everyone, but you know, there's a little bit of pressure. I put a lot of pressure on myself to do what I'm expected to do what I've done before, and I came into this trials with that same pressure, of more of pressure on myself, not as from the outside world, it's more of myself, like, expecting the best. And I think mentally I was ready to go. Physically, I was training so well, and I didn't see it in the pool. I haven't seen it in the pool yet, so it's a little frustrating, but I still have one more race. So I think so far I'm on the team for, you know, 5th place relay, and I have a different role than I'm used to having on Team USA, and I think I'm just grateful to be a part of it, and I'm here to offer leadership and experience and fun and whatever I can to everyone on the team, no matter their role. And I'm really excited to dive in tomorrow and fight my way to hopefully an individual spot in my favorite race. So I think just approaching it as it comes, and it's not what I've wanted so far, but how do I turn that around?
Any other questions? All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Tim, even though Abbey Weitzeil didn't qualify for any individual events, how did she manage to secure a spot on the U.S. Olympic swim team?
Right. So Abbey was competing in two events at the Olympic trials. She was in the 50-meter freestyle and the 100-meter freestyle. And the way that the Olympic trials are set up, the way the rules are set up, is the top two finishers in those races, in the finals of those races, will compete individually at the Olympics. They're the top two finishers. They're the top American swimmers, and they get to compete individually at the Olympics. For the relay races, the way they pick the relay race members is the top 6 finishers in the 100 freestyle, because there's only a 4x100 meter relay race, 4x100 meter freestyle race. The top 6 swimmers get on the team, and they mix up the swimmers as the meet goes on, because the 2 of the swimmers are going to be obviously competing individually, and they have heat races and other qualifying events during the Olympics. And so sometimes they need an alternate to come in to swim the relay races. And that's where Abbey fits in on this team. She will be on the relay teams during the qualifying sessions, during the heat sessions. And, you know, if she swims well, if she's one of the top 3 or 4 swimmers at the Olympics, they may move her into the finals, but she's going to, her role right now is to make sure that the U.S. relay teams move on through the qualifying sessions and get to the final. She might not be swimming in the final relay race, but she's going to be a big part of making sure that the U.S. women's relay teams are in the final.
So Tim, I know Weitzeil was pretty close to qualifying for the 50 freestyle individually, but can you talk about who beat her out for that spot?
Right. Yeah. So the 50-meter freestyle was very, very close. And the top 2 finishers, Gretchen Walsh, she finished second, and I want to make sure I got this right. Simone, make sure I want to get the right name. Simone Manuel won the race. And those two, it was almost a dead heat. They finished within, it was 0.02 of a second when the race was over. So they almost touched the wall at the same time. And Abbey was 100th of a second behind them. So the 3 of them were very, very close. And she, I don't want to say that she had a bad race. It's just that those 3 swimmers were so close, physically, so close competitively, that it could have gone either way. I mean, anybody could have won that race. It was that close.
Okay, so
I'm not sure where to go with that.
Yeah.
With that. It was a very close race. It was a very close race.
Yeah. So Weitzeil has a history of success in relay races at Olympics. So can you talk about how many total medals she actually has?
Right. So she has 4 Olympic medals. She won a gold medal in her first Olympics in 2016 in Rio as part of the medley relay team. And that year she was actually on the Olympic team individually in the 100-meter freestyle. And so she not only got to swim in the freestyle relay races, she was on the medley relay team. And that team is made up of a swimmer doing the backstroke, one swimmer doing the breaststroke, one swimmer doing the butterfly, and one swimmer doing the freestyle. And that's where she got her gold medal. She got a gold medal in that event. And she also got a silver medal in that Olympics as part of the freestyle relay team. All of her medals have come on relay teams, and that's been where she's had the most success in the Olympics, is on the relay teams, and she's been a big part of all of those teams at the Olympics. Now she qualified at the Tokyo Olympics in the relay race on the relay teams, and she was in individually entered in the 50-meter and 100-meter freestyle races. She won 2 more medals at the Tokyo Olympics, a bronze and a silver on the relay teams, and she was in 8th place in both the 50 freestyle and the 100-meter freestyle in the individual events. So, I mean, she was still one of the top 10 swimmers in the world in those events, but again, her success came on the relay teams. So that's been her real strength at the Olympics, is being a part of the relay teams, getting the relay teams into the finals, and making sure that the U.S. Olympic relay teams are the elite at the elite level when it comes to Olympic competition.
Yeah, so I know we mentioned this before, but can you talk a little bit more about how long it took Abbey to react to not qualifying individually? I mean, how long did it take her to come around?
Right. So the 100-meter freestyle final, the 100-meter freestyle trials came before the 50-meter freestyle trials. And so she knew she was on the team. She knew she finished in 5th place in the 100-meter freestyle, and that pretty much secured her a spot on the relay teams. But in the press conference after that event, it was a couple days after all the members of the swim team were announced. She admitted that it took her a day. It took her a day to really process where her strengths are on this team, what her role is going to be on this team. And she said it's going to be different. It's going to be a different role for her this time around. You know, she's not competing individually. She's not the top swimmer on the U.S. swim team in either event, the 100 freestyle or the 50 freestyle. And she's been that. She won the 100-meter freestyle at the Olympic trials before the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. And she set records in the 50 freestyle. She set records at the U.S. Swim Championships and has the course record at the pool in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Field. So she's been the top swimmer in the United States in both of those events at different points in her career. And she said, it took her a day. It took her a day to really appreciate just being on the team again. And to put another point on this, it is really hard to make 3 Olympics in a row. I mean, especially in swimming. So to be on the team again, to be on the team a 3rd time, even though it's not the way that she wanted it to be, she said she's appreciating, she is accepting her role, and she's just going to go and be the best teammate that she can, because that's her role this year. She's going to be more of a teammate than she is going to be going there for individual accomplishments.
Okay, so let's switch subjects and let's talk about Major League Baseball. So the Dodgers split a pair of games against the Angels in the Freeway Series. They lost 3-2 in extra innings in the first game and won 7-2 in the second game. The Dodgers won 10 games in a row against the Angels before losing the first game in 10 innings. It was almost 3 years since the last time the Dodgers lost to the Angels. The Dodgers were also playing without Mookie Betts, who fractured his hand after he was hit by a pitch and will be out for at least 6 weeks. Shohei Ohtani moved into the leadoff spot in the batting order where the Betts used to hit and didn't skip a beat. So he dropped a new one and he moved into the National League in batting average and home runs. So Ohtani hit 2 home runs against the Angels. The first was a 2-run homer that gave the Dodgers a 2-0 lead in the first game, but the Angels tied the score and eventually won the game in the 10th inning. And Tim and I were both there. It was very sad. So Ohtani hit a home run in the second game, his 23rd of the season, and gave the Dodgers a 3-0 lead. The Dodgers went on to win that game. But after the second game against the Angels, Ohtani was leading the National League in batting average at 321 and home runs at 23. He was second in the National League in hits with 97 and third in the National League in RBIs with 57. So it's moving into the leadoff spot. Ohtani is 11 for 24 with 7 extra base hits. He has driven in at least one run in 7 games in a row, tying the Dodgers record set by Reggie Smith in 1978. Ohtani was selected the National League Player of the Week, hitting .458 with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. Ohtani has been hot. So Hart graduate Tyler Glasnow has been on a roll as well. He won the second game against the Angels, striking out 10 in 7 innings. He gave up 2 runs, 1 earned, and 2 hits for his win in the 8th game of the season. After the game, he led the National League in strikeouts with 135. He lowered his ERA to 2.88, the 5th best in the National League. His 8 wins are also the 5th most in the National League. So the Dodgers are 48-31 after 79 games. Almost the midway part of the season, they have an 8.5 game lead over the San Diego Padres in the National League West standings. The Dodgers are on a 6-game road trip to play the White Sox in Chicago and the Giants in San Francisco. So, Tim, how did Shohei Ohtani perform statistically after taking over the leadoff spot from Betts?
Yeah, he played. How did he perform? He became the best hitter in baseball. I mean, he already was one of the best hitters in baseball before Betts got hurt, hitting in the second spot and being in the Dodgers lineup. But after he moved into the leadoff spot, he kicked it up another notch. And he moved into the National League lead in batting average. He leads the league in home runs. He's in contention for a triple crown, leading the league in batting average, home runs, and RBIs. And he's probably the leader for the MVP of the National League MVP. So how did he perform? That's a question. I don't know how to answer that question without saying that he has outperformed anything anybody expected. He was already, like I said, he was already one of the best hitters in baseball, and in the last week after Betts got hurt, he became without question the best hitter in baseball. So he took over that role. He moved into the leadoff spot, and really, like we said previously, he's been carrying the team with Betts being out of the lineup.
Can you talk more about how much Santa Clarita native Tyler Glasnow has achieved this season?
Right, Tyler Glasnow maybe we talk about Shohei Ohtani being MVP of the league. Tyler Glasnow might be the MVP of the team because he has been the best pitcher on the team, especially after Yoshinobu Yamamoto got hurt and is out for a while. He has clearly been the best pitcher. He's been the stopper. He's been the ace of this team, and it's not even close. It's not even close. He's the best strikeout pitcher in the National League. He leads the league in strikeouts. He doesn't give up a ton of runs. His ERA is under 3. It's one of the best in the National League, and he's a winner. He's proven that even given a few runs to work with in any game, he can turn those games into wins. So he has been the one pitcher on the Dodgers staff that they can rely on, and it's kind of funny because he's always had a reputation of being a little injury prone and being nicked up and missing starts and just not being very consistent. But this year it's been totally different. He's been the consistent pitcher in the rotation for the Dodgers, and he's been the one that they look to get a big win, to stop a losing streak, or just to give them a little boost when they might be going through a little bit of a slump.
So where do the Dodgers stand right now in the National League West standings at the halfway point in the season?
Right. So as far as the National League West standing goes, I mean, they have a very comfortable lead. They're on pace to win 100 games, and they should win the National League West comfortably. I mean, unless they completely fall apart in the second half of the season, the Dodgers are going to run away with this division, and this race may be over by the end of September, maybe even by the end of August. Now, as far as where they're going to end up in the National League, that's another question. That's another big question. They are one of the best teams in the National League. They have one of the best records in the National League, but the Phillies, the Philadelphia Phillies, have been playing at pretty much the same level as the Dodgers have all season long. So that's going to be where their biggest competition comes from. The biggest threat comes from to making the World Series. Is they have to get past the Philadelphia Phillies, and their biggest threat isn't going to come from the National League West. It's going to be from the National League East, and whether or not the Phillies can keep pace with the Dodgers. Those two teams are going to be battling out for the second half of the season.
All right. So that's our show. So tune in next week for more discussions about the news from Santa Clarita. You can listen to us on the radio at KQRU 107.9 FM at 9 on Saturday mornings. You can also watch us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, and listen to us on SantaClaritaStar.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. So leave us a comment and be sure to subscribe to Santa Clarita Weekly Online. Thanks for listening. Have a great
Thank you for listening to Santa Clarita Weekly. You can watch the show on Santa Clarita Star's YouTube channel and Facebook page, as well as listen in on the radio at KQRU 107.9. Visit SantaClaritaStar.com for more content and tune in right here to KQRU 107.9. A new voice for Santa Clarita.
You are listening to KQRU 107.9, a new voice for Santa Clarita. KQRU is Santa Clarita's local station for indie alternatives and progressive talk, the smooth jazz at night to soothe your mind after a hard day's work. Our station is entirely listener-supported through local donations with no commercials, so your support is extremely important to help us pay the rent for our antenna and broadcasting studio. Visit KQRU107.org to make a donation.
As you go about your day, you want to know what's happening to keep you ahead. The Santa Clarita Star has you covered. At SantaClaritaStar.com, you will find stories that you won't find anywhere else. See the local news website everyone is talking about. Visit SantaClaritaStar.com today.
Join hosts Tim Haddock and Sage Rafferty on Santa Clarita Weekly, where we bring you the latest scoop on local news, sports, and community events that matter most to you. From in-depth coverage of the local news stories to exclusive interviews and thrilling local sports highlights, we've got it all. Don't miss out on staying connected to your community. Listen to Santa Clarita Weekly every Saturday morning at 9 on KQRU 107.9.